Broadcast Row for the now generation. And now a special presentation from Broadcast Row. Broadcasting live from the greatest city in the world. Wake up. It's time, people, for your morning online gathering. Hosted by Mardel. It's the Wrestling Morning Show, and it starts now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wrestling Morning Show. It's 5 past the hour. The number is 844-627-3352. That's 844-627-3352. Call or text us. This is your host, Mardel. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're available to stream live, obviously, on Twitter and Facebook. Also, the website has all the information you need for this program at thewrestlingmorningshow.com. Last night was the go-home show for Monday Night Raw. Or was it? It's a tradition that's been happening for the last 7, 8, 9 months now. Go-home show the week before really is non-existent. It's usually 2 weeks out. They have done a phenomenal job, I believe, in this build for No Mercy. We're going to talk about this on the program. We're going to recap. Get your thoughts, of course, about Monday Night Raw. Talk a lot about No Mercy. Talking about the future. Foreshadow a little SmackDown Live and pretty much have an open forum for you guys today here on the Wrestling Morning Show. Well, last night I was very excited. I had no idea Cena would not appear on the program. Now, I've said this many times that I was excited that we have not yet seen Roman or Cena really touch each other during this entire build. They've been doing unbelievable promos. And for the most part, Cena, I think, is 3-0. Now, last night, by default, Roman Reigns won. I assume Cena was supporting his girlfriend. That's what I can only imagine. As Dancing with the Stars, the premiere, actually went up against Monday Night Raw. We also had football last night. You could tell anytime you're on Twitter, and there's obviously low activity going on Twitter. We have the hardcore people on Twitter all the time. Now, the casual fans, or even the true fans are probably watching it right now. They probably watch football or Dancing with the Stars or whatnot. So Cena was not there last night. Am I disappointed? Of course. It's a go-home show. Traditionally, we'd like to see John Cena. But in reality, probably supporting his girlfriend, this gave the opportunity for the final blow by Roman Reigns. We're going to go back and revisit this from last night. Here's Roman inside the ring. Tremendous amount of boos, not only now, but when he entered. Let's go and listen to Roman Reigns a little bit last night.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I would boo this too. John Cena might be the best talker ever.
You might be right on that one.
His mouth and he can spin it, but the thing is, sometimes he says stupid shit.
Wow.
Like trying to say that I'm the next John Cena. I mean, come on, man. Do I walk, talk, or even look like Cena? I mean, I don't know, I don't have a mirror, but do I look like a jacked up white guy with a giant head and a military crew cut? Nah, if I did, I wouldn't have a career here. You don't believe me? Ask Alex Riley about that.
Shots fired. Okay, here we go.
You see, I'm not like John. I don't have to talk. I let my actions talk for me. That is why when I say something, it means something. Like when I said John Cena is a fake-ass little bitch. It's because he is. But not only that, John Cena is the biggest hypocrite to ever step foot in a WWE ring. And if you don't believe me there, John will tell you himself.
So they go to a video package from 2012, And this was the rivalry against The Rock. Now, the entire ammo that Cena had against The Rock, and this was obviously a dream matchup even back then, but he was a part-timer. And that was the big problem that John Cena had. And he gave a couple interviews even before 2012 when he actually talked about The Rock, talked about the fact that he comes back when he wants. He's a part-timer. Not only that, at the time, he left. He left and did not really thank the fans or give back to the fans. That really kind of made him a superstar in the ring that obviously allowed him to go on and become a movie star. It's almost a parallel storyline between Roman Reigns and Cena compared to The Rock and Cena. I think this is more polarizing. Yes, it was Cena and The Rock, arguably two of the greatest of all time. But obviously, I think that was more business. That was more the allure of those two guys going at it. Here, this looks personal, seems personal, feels personal. We also know that there could be a future in this feud, which I find very interesting. So after that vignette is over, Roman goes back into the ring, and here we go. Let's listen to Roman.
Should we bring Cena out here, San Jose? Y'all gotta get a little louder. Should we bring Cena out here, San Jose? I'm afraid that's not gonna be loud enough because John's not here. So everything he said was just a lie. It was just talk. And that's why the result at No Mercy is going to be the same as it was at that WrestleMania. Only this time, he's going to be beat by a different Samoan. So San Jose, I'll see y'all next time for sure. And John, I'll see you Sunday, movie star.
He gives the best heel promos. He really does. I mention this all the time. I mentioned this 100 times on the program. He gives the very best heel promos. He really does. He's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. That still should be somewhat of that moniker that he has. I like this build. I wish, of course, Cena was there, as we mentioned at the top of the show. I'm assuming he was at Dancing with the Stars or in some way alongside Nikki Bella. I actually recorded Dancing with the Stars and really had no time as I had to prepare for this show and get up early to do this show. I can only imagine. But I'm going to watch it at some point after we go off the air to see maybe he was there. I did try to Google it this morning, and I could not find anything that would put that scenario there. I enjoy this build. I really do believe, and I also put a Twitter poll question out there, what match are you the most excited about? Well, obviously going in, there are a lot. But Cena and Reigns, for me, has now outshadowed Braun and Brock. And now things have become interesting in the women's division. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Finally, Miz actually has an opponent for the IC title. You know, the one thing that Roman brought up in his promo, he mentioned Alex Riley. Alex Riley has been very coy about his departure from the WWE, and people have speculated certain things here or there. Alex Riley does favor John Cena. I really don't believe all this hype and all this talk about Cena burying people or not giving the opportunities for people. If you're really talented, you really do believe, you really think in your heart of hearts that the WWE would really listen to Cena to bury somebody? It's a business, a money business. I found that very fascinating for Roman to actually say that. And actually, more importantly, mention somebody who left the company like that. They also gave the ability, and yes, permission. Permission was granted to use choice words like shit and bitch on the microphone for Roman Reigns. We don't really hear a lot of faces curse. I think he's the epitome of tweener. And of course, I just mentioned the best heel promos of anybody right now. Think about it. The things he says. First of all, he attacks John Cena, of course, it's his opponent, but continues to remind everybody. He reminds everybody on a weekly basis. He retired The Undertaker, arguably the most beloved figure in the history of WWE. I didn't say the greatest. is the most beloved, a career that is now pushing 30 years just with the WWE. So what I want to do now, let's go over this card. We know Cena and Roman. We know Dean, Seth versus Cesaro and Sheamus. That's for the tag titles. Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, Neville and Enzo for the Cruiserweight Championship. And, of course, we'll get to this later, but Bayley's added, and now it's a fatal five-way for the Raw's Women's Championship. And The Miz will take on Jason Jordan. We'll talk about that very soon as well. The big match, the match that's on the poster, the match we all were hoping for, a dream matchup. I'm a big fan of let's go ahead and wrestle now. Let's not wait for WrestleMania. I don't want to hear these comments anymore of, well, man, this is WrestleMania worthy. Casual fans will watch WrestleMania if they're going to watch anything. How about these fans who need to tune in now? To need to tune in and watch this Sunday compared to Sunday Night Football or any type of other event they may have. So this is very important for many reasons. And then we get the added bonus of Cena and Roman Reigns. Let's go now and listen. Both men did not appear, per se, live inside the ring, but they've done a great job the last couple of weeks building this. I'm very happy with this build as well. Let's go ahead and just refresh your memory from about 12 hours ago.
To the combatants. First, the challenger, the monster among men, Braun Strowman. And the Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar, accompanied by his advocate, Paul Heyman. And Brock, I'd like to start with you because for the first time in your career, many people are considering you the underdog in this match.
On behalf of my client, this is not unfamiliar territory for Brock Lesnar. As I pointed out last week, the last time Brock Lesnar was an underdog was against The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and what happened there? In the same way that The Undertaker was beaten, victimized, and conquered at WrestleMania, Braun Strowman this Sunday will be beaten, victimized, and conquered by Brock Lesnar at the pay-per-view known as No Mercy.
You know, Braun, there's no doubt that throughout this rivalry, you have been physically dominant of Brock Lesnar. How confident are you heading into Sunday?
How confident am I? My actions speak for my words. I don't have to tell you how confident I am. Week after week, I've come out here and I've left him laying. I've left Brock Lesnar laying. How many men have done that? None. That's why I'm the monster, and I'm the only man capable of putting Brock Lesnar down for good.
You know, Brock, there's a lot of truth in what Braun Strowman says, and hearing what the monster among men just said, how do you prepare for
Stop! Excuse my reach. Brock Lesnar does not prepare for anyone like Braun Strowman, because there is no one like Braun Strowman. And while Brock Lesnar doesn't respect any opponent, Brock Lesnar respects the fact that Braun Strowman is the most capable challenger to ever come after Brock Lesnar's Universal Championship. Last week, Braun Strowman stood up after a German suplex. No one has ever stood up from a momentary trip to Suplex City. But that doesn't mean that Braun Strowman can survive Suplex City.
Paul Heyman, I could do more than survive Suplex City. I'm gonna walk into Suplex City and stomp it to the ground.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna understand that all you've done is that you woke up the beast. And now the beast understands it will take more than one suplex at the Staples Center this Sunday night at No Mercy. Brock Lesnar understands you're gonna have to be taken to Suplex City all night long. Brock Lesnar understands, Braun Strowman, that he's going to have to beat you within an inch of your life to fend off the challenge. Brock Lesnar understands that more than ever before in his career, he's gonna have to lay waste to you, or you will become the new Universal Champion. And when those two decisions are presented to Brock Lesnar, which decision do you think he's coming with this Sunday at No Mercy?
It doesn't matter what decision he makes. The ball's on my side of the court, Paul. You've seen it week after week. I'm the one pulling the strings here. I'm the one that's going to make the decisions. Just watch. You can run your mouth all you want. It ain't going to change the fact of what's going to happen this Sunday.
Braun, it's interesting because there are many parallels between you and Brock Lesnar. And as we head toward No Mercy...
I don't get this. Excuse me, I don't get this. I don't get the premise here. Why are you asking so many questions of the challenger? The news story here remains Brock Lesnar. And until Braun Strowman defeats Brock Lesnar, which he won't, respectfully submitted to you, this Sunday, September 24th, at the Staples Center at No Mercy, then the questions still go to the newsmaker, Brock Lesnar. The questions here should be, how will a loss, which won't happen, affect your legacy this Sunday, Brock Lesnar? From being the only man to hold the NCAA Division I Heavyweight Championship, the undisputed WWE Heavyweight Championship, the undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship, the undisputed UFC Heavyweight Championship, the conqueror of the Undertaker's streak, and now walking into a situation where his opponent for the first time is bigger, for the first time is stronger, and possibly, maybe, though I personally doubt it, for the first time is badder than the baddest beast on the planet. You're wondering what's going to happen with Braun Strowman? Why don't you wonder what happens to the mystique of Brock Lesnar should Braun Strowman win this Sunday? Why don't you ask Brock...
Braun, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for backing me into this corner, challenging me. It's when I'm at my best. I'll see you Sunday. Suplex City, bitch.
I think it's one of the funnest things in the world when Brock just takes that microphone and then he starts talking. Pretty nice. It was a pretty decent sell. It was something different from Paulie. I enjoyed it. I'm excited for this. It's enough said. No, I'm not ready to go on wax and say who I think the winner is going to be. I am leaning toward Braun. I think the world could be a buzzing. Because people really still don't know Braun Strowman in the wrestling world. Of course, yes, and they fell in love with him. That's great. All eyes will be in Los Angeles. There's no, obviously no secret that they just did Monday Night Raw in San Jose. Hop, skip, and a jump from Los Angeles, where they're probably going to spend the entire week starting tomorrow, if not today already, promoting everything. Obviously, the Raw roster will be promoting today while SmackDown gets ready for their big show tonight. We're going to take a small break. We have a lot of wrestling to talk about. 844-627-3352. That's 844-627-3352. Also, subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast. It's that simple. Follow us on Twitter at Live Morning Show. There's a link to subscribe on the website and, of course, on Twitter. This show is available everywhere once we go off the air. iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. Okay, we're going to take a small break. We'll be back very, very soon. 22 past the hour. Hopefully you join us at 844-627-3352. And, of course, coming up, we're going to talk about Bobby the Brain Heenan, the greatest manager of all time. We're going to finish talking about Raw, talk a little No Mercy. We'll be right back on the Wrestling Morning Show.
Live on Broadcast Row, it's the Wrestling Morning Show.
We're back on the program. It's the Wrestling Morning Show. I appreciate everybody tuning in right now. And of course, many of you guys know, as soon as we go off the air, this becomes on demand in podcast form. Available on iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. Subscribe to the podcast. But I always prefer when you guys listen live. That's the most important thing for us because we think it's very unique. We do the show for you guys. All information that you need is on the WrestlingMorningShow.com. Very simple, somewhat sleek website. A lot of things happened last night. And all I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, oh boy, Miz may not have an opponent for the second straight pay-per-view. And if they're going to do it, They're going to rush. And, of course, they did that last night. They rushed. They rushed, and they had 6 people in a 6-pack challenge. And now we have a winner. We have a winner to go and face The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship, and that's Jason Jordan. We kind of knew. It was kind of a bad secret. They indicated this maybe for about a week or so. We thought it possibly could have happened earlier. Let's go ahead. Miz gives a phenomenal promo. One of, if not the very best heels in all of wrestling. Him, Kevin Owens, and honestly, I'm going to say Roman Reigns. Why not? Let's go back and refresh in your memory.
Miz, I'm so glad you could come out here. First of all, I want to congratulate you on becoming a father. Although I didn't appreciate that snide comment you made about me.
Save your well wishes, Kurt. You know, I don't appreciate being overlooked again. Being forgotten again. Week after week, I carry this show. But it seems to me that I'm always looked at as an afterthought. You're out here hyping up No Mercy. But you're doing it without your biggest star. This is the second pay-per-view in a row that the Intercontinental Championship won't be defended. Are you kidding me?
Well, if you'd let me finish, I was about to make an announcement that would determine your match at No Mercy. When Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Elias, and Jason Jordan will compete in a fatal 4-way match tonight, winner faces you at No Mercy.
Jason Jordan, your son. That is ridiculous. Listen, if you want to get a bad guitar player and the Hardy Boys a shot at the contention, sure, I get it. But Jason Jordan does not deserve to be in that match because there are countless superstars more deserving, like them. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel have been shining for years. And what do they get? They get leapfrogged by your failure of a son. I mean, what do you need, Kurt? If Jason gives you a #1 dad mug and plays catch with you, can we finally move on and stop rewarding him for absolutely nothing?
You know, I'm getting really sick and tired of your whining and complaining. Hopefully, God willing, fatherhood will change you.
Don't you dare talk about fatherhood to me. You walked out on your responsibilities and now you're making everyone pay for your mistake. I'll be there day one with my child. And that child will never have to ask, why didn't daddy want me? I'll be a better father than you ever could be, and I'm a better champion than you ever were. I should be your priority. The Miztourage should be your priority. But your priority is Jason Jordan because you've missed 28 years of his life, and now you're trying to make it up to him at the expense of the rest of the locker room. And it doesn't surprise me, Kurt, because it doesn't matter if you're abandoning... It doesn't matter if you're abandoning your duties as Raw General Manager or walking out on your unborn son. Because, well, you can always count on Kurt Angle to be a deadbeat.
Slight delayed reaction, to be honest. Here comes Jason Jordan. He's upset to it. Miz has some great lines, by the way. The very best line comes at the very end of the show, and we'll obviously play that recording for you coming up.
Same way that he feels right now, getting leapfrogged. It's not right.
Say one more word about Kurt, and I'm gonna knock those pretty little teeth down your throat. You know what? Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Put Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel in this match tonight. That way, you can't make any excuses when I face you for that.
Sounds good. The Fatal 4-Way match now will be a 6-pack challenge.
You do realize that more people gives you less of a chance of winning. You're even more incompetent than your father.
Jordan's hurt it up, and he goes right after Miz.
Okay, so Jordan gives Miz the beatdown, and of course, Bo Dallas with his bumps, and Axel. They're probably just having fun out there. Have we not forgotten Jason Jordan's been giving some great performances against John Cena, against Roman Reigns. Physically, looks phenomenal inside the ring, getting better every time we see him. I'm just glad we get to see him. This could only elevate him. I don't think he wins the strap. What I do think, and I'm hoping, this starts to build, and this gives something Miz to do now. You really want to see what Jason Jordan is made of? Have a nice run with the Miz. Let's see how he can handle it on the microphone. That's how you get better. Roman Reigns giving us some of the best promos of his career because he's going up against one of the greats. It's very simple. It's not rocket science. When you go up against somebody like Kevin Owens, your talent just gets better. And then you have two talented guys. Let's go back a little bit. When it was Jericho and Kevin Owens, that pretty much were 2016. That was 2016, the year of Jericho and Owens. It was phenomenal. So I wish the best for Jason Jordan. I think he's going to look good. There is no way he will win this Sunday. I'm not a big fan of these last-minute bookings, by the way. It's kind of embarrassing, especially when you could have done this last month or even for the last couple of weeks. We'll see how this goes, though. We'll see how it goes.
Okay? Focus on your opportunity tonight.
You know, Miz has been talking about you for weeks. Oh, God. You know what? And he's not the only one. I walk up and down these hallways. I hear the whispers. I see the looks. When they see what I do to Miz for the Intercontinental Championship, those whispers, the looks, they're all gonna stop.
What if they don't? What are you gonna do? Beat up everybody that says something about me? What did you think was gonna happen when that came out that I was your father?
I don't know. I didn't ask for this.
I know you didn't, but here we are. You either step up or go home. Listen, they're gonna talk about me. They're gonna talk about you. I know you're strong enough to fight back, but sometimes it takes more strength not to fight back. Are you getting me? That's my blood coursing through your veins, and I know what you're capable of. If you want to get back at the Miz, you win this match tonight, and you go on to No Mercy, and you defeat Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. Do you understand?
So that was backstage. We're continuing to talk about Jason Jordan. Obviously, he's inside that ring. A lot of airtime for Jason Jordan tonight. Why not? I actually love that back there. It was a real Jason Jordan moment, a real moment with Kurt Angle. This whole show seems to be dedicated to this build-up of only 1 week because there's a lot of airtime with Jason Jordan and The Miz. But this is some of the best work Miz does. It's the very end. They give him a beatdown. Miz just landed a skull-crushing finale on Jordan with the Miztourage in the ring, and then he grabs the mic. Let's go ahead and take a listen to this.
After No Mercy, I will still be the champ. Kurt Angle will still be a terrible father. And you will still be a bastard.
Fantastic. It's amazing how good he is as a heel and how much natural heat he draws. And yet, rarely has he had rivalries. Rarely has this happened. So I'm glad this has happened. I tweeted out saying, I don't care who the Miz faces. As long as he's there, as long as he's part of the main card for No Mercy, and as long as the IC title is up for grabs. I think this is going to be something good that could work out. It's going to be a nice program together for the next couple months for them. We're going to move on and finally talk about some other stuff right now that occurred last night on Monday Night Raw. As we continue on and we talk about Monday Night Raw, I don't know how I feel about this, but Bayley's added. They were in Bayley's hometown last night, San Jose, California, and she got a great reception. We have not seen her in a while. But she gets added. Now it's a fatal five-way for the Raw Women's Championship. I've been a huge fan of Alexa Bliss. I've said it on the show several times. We're probably reaching now 100 times. I'm a huge fan of Nia Jax. I have a little fatigue now from everyone else. I have a little fatigue from Emma. I have fatigue from Sasha. I have fatigue from Bayley. I think a great storyline that still to this day has not been explored was when there was a time where Alexa was really going after Nia Jax, picking on her, really. And Alexa Bliss, probably one of the best heels, male or female, on any roster. And there's, I believe, a great storyline still to this day between Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. True friends in real life, fake friends on the show. I'm starting to think this can go either way. I truly would love Nia Jax to win this. I think the fans in Los Angeles, they're going to be pulling for Nia Jax. Bayley has a huge fan base. Sasha has a huge fan base. Alexa Bliss, she has her own fan base. Let's not count her out. And of course, Emma has her fans. 5 women. We're seeing this now. This is something that we saw kind of on SmackDown for the entire summer, really. SmackDown was just adding all the women. Fatal 4-ways, fatal 5-ways, an extension of the Money in the Bank. Let's do the Money in the Bank again. Let's split them up and have tag teams. I think they'll bring the very best out of all these women. But that's the fatal 5-way, and that's kind of how it summed up last night. It was Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss. Sasha was at ringside. Then we saw Bayley come out. And then Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss, as the opportunist, tries to befriend Sasha and Bayley and raise their hands. Because all of them, what they did was end up attacking Nia Jax. And of course, what did they do? They beat up Alexa Bliss. Crowd went home happy with that. I think they'll go in a pretty good direction at No Mercy. If Alexa retains, that is great. I'm hoping we see Nia Jax. I don't mind it. You know, we're going to take a small little break here. We don't really take a lot of breaks, as you guys know. I do want to remind you, though, follow us on Twitter, Live Morning Show. A lot of you guys are listening to us streaming on Twitter. You can stream on Facebook at The Wrestling Morning Show. We have our own page. Of course, TheWrestlingMorningShow.com, all the information you need about the show. When this show goes off the air, we edit it. We take out the commercials. We take out some of the lags. Then it becomes on demand for you guys to listen to in podcast form. Available in iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. We have a lot of show left, ladies and gentlemen. We'd love to hear from you. It's 844-627-3352. That is our call line and our text line. The number is 844-627-3352. We also got our own apps, by the way. You can have your own app, which makes it easy for you to listen on the go every time we do a show or a special event. Download the app on iTunes and Google Play. When we get back, we're going to finish talking about Raw, do a little foreshadow of SmackDown, talk about No Mercy, and of course, talk about the greatest manager of all time, possibly even the greatest color commentator of all time, Bobby the Brain Heenan, passed away a couple days ago. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Wrestling Morning Show. This is Mardel. We're going to pause now for some sponsorship and some quick commercial breaks. Here we go.
The Wrestling Morning Show with Mardel, live on Broadcast Row. Now back to the Wrestling Morning Show.
Okay, so we're back with the program. The number is 844-627-3352. This is Mardel. Also, we're going to announce very soon in the next 2 days, maybe even on tomorrow's show, we've got a special No Mercy show. Myself, and of course, we'll have some special guests, including Coder, who always does a regular segment called The Code Break, here on the program. If you're just tuning in, we realize a lot of you guys just wake up and then boom, listen to the program. You catch it halfway sometimes. We do this show every Tuesday and Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern. We do it for you guys. We do it for 2 hours. So any feedback you guys have, it's much appreciated. Of course, you can leave comments on Twitter, call the hotline if you want, leave a voicemail. We'll play it on the air. That number of 844-627-3352, it's our call line, our text line, and of course, you can leave any messages that you want if it pertains to the show, good, bad, or ugly. So let's go back. Let's talk about some No Mercy right now. Brock and Braun set. We've talked about that. Cena and Roman, very excited about that. We talked about the Fatal 5-Way. We talked about the Miz and Jason Jordan. All these programs are designed from what happened on the Go Home show, which was a little bit less than exciting. Let's talk about Dean and Seth, Cesaro and Sheamus. Last night, I felt there was some decent promo work by these guys done last night, right? First of all, I thought Cesaro, who was kind of becoming this little rebel, anti-hero against some of the fans. It started with the beach ball, which I thought would be a great matchup. And now it's kind of concluded to the what? Cesaro actually gives a pretty decent promo. And then, obviously, Sheamus, very good on the microphone. We don't give him enough credit. And then, of course, we see Dean. We see Dean, we see Seth. And then the Good Brothers show up. Let's go back and refresh in your memory of Monday Night Raw. Special thank you, courtesy of WWE, Universal, and the USA Network.
Everything these days is about nostalgia. You see it everywhere, Cesaro. It's in our TV shows, our movies, from Stranger Things to remakes of Star Wars and Blade Runner and so forth. It's kind of boring, to be honest. You know, the thing is, all of you love nostalgia. You love escaping your harsh realities to wrap yourselves up in a warm, fuzzy feeling of the good old days. But me and Cesaro, we don't live in the past. We live in the present. And we destroy nostalgia acts, because all you gotta do is ask the Hardy Boys.
Hey, but that's why you love Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, right? They're back together. They're the tag team champions. They're having the time of their lives, and nothing can go wrong, right? Yeah, right. Something can go wrong, and something will go wrong. Very wrong, once we get our hands on them next Sunday at No Mercy.
See, all of you, you have you find it hard to realize that their friendship is a fraud. They're both selfish and they're both using each other for their own selfish needs. Their own selfish needs.
He said their own selfish needs. Selfish needs. And just like this, it works. As long as the good times keep rolling. But the moment the music stops and the fun ends, nostalgia will fade just like these what chants, and the truth will set in. And the truth is that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins can't stand each other.
Oh, get over yourselves because it's true. Their friendship is fragile and it's about to crack. And when it does, we'll be there to pick up the pieces and take back what's rightfully ours, the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships. You wanna know why? You wanna know why, San Josie? You wanna know why? Because the truth of the matter is, we trust each other. We're stronger than brothers, and we've been together through the good, the bad, and the ugly times. Because we don't just set the bar, fella. We are the bar!
Oh, this is a surprise. We're expecting Anderson and Gallows for this matchup, but here are the tag team champions.
Wait. So we're the Nostalgia Act.
Yep.
Look, it looks like you guys, a taxi driver had a really ugly, disgusting baby with Braveheart in your cute little kilts. But hey, I'll give you some credit. You're right about one thing. Me and Ambrose, we are having the time of our lives. And no matter what, we are brothers.
And you know, sometimes brothers fight, sometimes brothers argue, but a real brother would never let his brother leave the house dressed like that.
Oh, we're talking about brothers. Here's a couple good brothers.
Brother this, brother that, brother me softly. Brother me softly. You guys are out here arguing about who's the better set of brothers, but Sheamus and Cesaro, you guys walked out on us last week. Yep. Not good brothers. Nope. And Dean and Seth, also not good brothers. Nope. You guys took advantage of our disadvantage.
Yep. And that doesn't make you good brothers. No. That makes you a couple of,
No.
That's true.
No, that's not good. That was a bad idea. You shouldn't have said that. Oh, no. Oh, man. Nah.
Nobody calls me a nerd.
Oh, here we go.
All hell breaks loose. It's a little cheesy. It reminds me of Back to the Future Part 2 and 3 out of nowhere. He called Marty a chicken. He gets upset. Dean being Dean, Seth being Seth. This finally, we're getting some recognition for these guys, Gallows and Anderson. Always a little upset at how they were booked when they first came out. I love the fact they were in street clothes attacking people, and then quickly they were given these this gear. None of the gear was obviously reminiscent of what they wore in New Japan and other promotions, but I was kind of digging that little outsider feel they had to it. They were also aligned as the club with AJ Styles during his heel run early on. So there's a triple tag team match that follows. Trying to build a somewhat unenthusiastic match for No Mercy between Cesaro, Sheamus, Dean, and Seth. I mean, these are four phenomenal performers. Four really good wrestlers. I consider Cesaro and Seth inside the ring great. Two of the very best when it comes inside that ring. They're going to give us a great match. I don't really see Dean and Seth really dropping these titles yet. The beautiful thing is they can go so many directions. They continue on being the best friends that they are, the good brothers, even though they've been acting bad according to Gallows and Anderson. Or we can maybe start to see the riff. Maybe we start to see the riff. Don't know what direction. I don't think I care either. I care about all four competitors, but surprised me with this one. One thing I got excited about last night, something that I've always wanted to see in the WWE, something, to be honest, we've never really seen. We've never really seen, truly seen, Dustin Rhodes perform as Dustin Rhodes. He's always been Goldust. We know what he looks like without makeup. Definitely he's been backstage without it. He's done a million interviews without it. But we're talking about inside the ring. Now, of course, when he started, I believe his nickname was the Natural. Was he just a young kid? This was a long time ago. I want to say it was the late 80s, maybe. I could be wrong. Please don't crucify me if I'm wrong. We've seen the incarnation of Seven. Remember that character? We've seen Dustin go through different gimmicks. One of the greatest gimmicks of all time, of course, is Goldust. When it's all said and done, they have the top 10 list of the greatest gimmicks of all time. The Mount Rushmore of gimmicks, maybe even. I think it's a far gone conclusion that Undertaker's gimmick, the greatest gimmick of all time. But Goldust is up there, my friends. You have to remember it. If you're too young to remember, please go back. That's the beauty of the WWE Network. What he was doing was shock and awe every single week when he debuted. It was uncomfortable. It was innovative. It was fun. It was interesting. That took a lot of balls. It really did. He wanted to be the farthest thing from the American dream. At least that was my perception of it. This was just a character we have never, ever seen before. When Goldust first debuted, and he's been able to sustain it for over 20 years. I enjoy this, though. I wonder what direction they'll go in. I hope this is not just a one-off. Maybe we see Dustin Rhodes, the real Dustin Rhodes. I can connect emotionally with a lot of these fans. Let's go ahead and listen to this interview backstage that he has.
Can I help you, Goldust?
With Kurt Angle, obviously.
You can't help me, Kurt. Give me a second chance tonight against Bray Wyatt. I don't know, man. Last week got real ugly real fast. I'm not asking you as Goldust. I'm asking you as the man behind the paint, Dustin Rhodes. You know me. We have known each other for 20 years. You knew my father. I'm not asking you as my boss, I'm asking you as a man, as a friend. Give me a chance tonight against Bray Wyatt to show him that I'm not some pawn in his twisted game against Finn Balor. Oh, man, I don't know. Please. I'm asking. Please. All right, man. You got your match with Bray Wyatt, man to man. Thank you very much, bud. Thank you very, very much. Tonight, Bray Wyatt will never forget the name Dustin Rhodes.
And that was awesome because when he comes out there, the entire crowd actually is chanting for him. Chants of Dustin and Dustin Rhodes. So Dustin Rhodes has one of the better matches we've seen him. Just intense. Great to see actually the reactions through his eyes and through his face. And he actually went a while with Bray Wyatt. If it was Goldust, this probably would have been squashed a lot earlier. Simply, Bray puts on the Sister Abigail and gets the pin. I really hope they go somewhere with this. After the match, we see on the Titantron, we see Finn Balor. This was their final interaction before No Mercy. I think this is something now, obviously, with their second match. The third one, that's it. It's the rubber match of the series, and we'll probably see the Demon one more time for their next pay-per-view. I'm also interested in Neville and Enzo. I can't believe I'm saying that. Neville has been the standard bearer for the Cruiserweight division. The Cruiserweight title is on the line. He takes on Enzo Amore. A lot of people are not happy with it. A lot of people understand it, though. Enzo still, regardless of what you think of him, and I think a lot of us have fatigue from Enzo, he will have more eyes in the future for 205 Live. There is a possibility he can walk out in Los Angeles, the Cruiserweight champion. But Neville's had a great run. You're chasing that heel. But now there's starting to be more of a stock of heels that are going around with 205 Live. Maybe they chase Enzo. Give us some credibility. Enzo was coming out to the ring, and all of a sudden you hear Braun's music hit. And then Braun just completely demolishes him. Gives him a clothesline. Might have been a shoulder, I don't remember. Drags him. Drags him like a rag doll inside that ring. And just throws him around. We get it. You're strong. And actually, there were a lot of people who actually enjoyed it. Seeing Enzo like that. And of course, Neville sees the opportunity, comes out, tells Braun, listen, I'm not messing with you. Then, of course, Neville has to apply the red arrow. So that should be interesting. I'm curious what direction they go in. I cannot imagine another squash for Enzo. If he loses, hope he loses and looks decent. One other thing I want to bring up before we stop talking about Monday Night Raw. I've said this 100 times. I love this, enthusiasm, this build-up, this slower process on how they're building Elias. They dropped Samson, which I have no idea why. It's not a big deal. You could chant Elias Samson. I think some people kind of forget that. But he's drawing this natural heat. Not trying to, crack jokes. And yes, of course, there is some hatred among the cities he goes to. This is not something that is new to wrestling. We've had people do that all the time, heels. The easiest way to upset the crowd is, yes, to bash the city you're in. And he does that. It's fine. I'm like, he's getting over and over now. I like what they're doing with him. It's that slow pace. That slow pace. And I enjoy it. I'll tell you what, other things that are going on. Obviously, congrats to Nikki Bella, Dancing with the Stars. Very excited about that. Talked about earlier in the show the whereabouts of John Cena. I believe he's overseas. In China, as a matter of fact. I could be wrong. I just saw a little quote of where John Cena's at. I'm trying to actually figure it out. He obviously tweeted last night, stepping out of your comfort zone isn't easy. I'm so proud of her. Vote for Nicole. And then gave the number to vote. We got 10 million followers. It does not hurt. It's kind of nice for the John, Nikki, Brie, Daniel era right now. They got Dancing with the Stars. And, of course, Total Bellas. Keep you up to date next week about that. We're going to take a small break. When we get back, we're going to end the program. And we're talking about Bobby the Brain Heenan. So stick around for that. You don't want to miss that. Also have a nice open forum, 4844-627-3352. You're listening to the Wrestling Morning Show. This is Mardel, your host. We'll be back very soon.
Live on Broadcast Row, it's the Wrestling Morning Show.
Progressive brings you Flowetry with Flow.
A tool called Name Your Price. Get a grip on your spending like an industrial vice. It's nice. Beats rolling the dice. I prefer brown rice. Don't carry dumbbells when you walk on thin ice. Splash.
Get insurance based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. Visit progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Now back to the Wrestling Morning Show.
Okay, so we're back on the show. And I appreciate you guys listening to the program. Do not forget, when the show is over, you miss any of it. It's on demand. iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio. We're everywhere. Our main hub is Spreaker. But I hope you guys just listen live. That's the one thing I hope you guys do. Listen live every Tuesday and Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Any information you guys need, go to thewrestlingmorningshow.com. Of course, you can always join us on Twitter. Join us for that conversation. Follow us at Live Morning Show. We'll always give you information. And, of course, we try to give you a lot of updates as well. On Sunday, September 17th, we learned that Bobby the Brain Heenan died. He was 72 years old. Without a doubt, he was the greatest wrestling manager of all time, one of the greatest heels of all time. He was born in 1944 as Raymond Lewis Heenan. In 2004, he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame by Blackjack Lanza. Now, he started his career in the World Wrestling Association. He started as a wrestler and a manager. Now, he originally managed Angelo Poffo. If that sounds familiar, he was the father of Macho Man Randy Savage. He also managed the Valiant Brothers and the Blackjacks. And he also had some appearances in the AWA. By 1974, he went to the AWA full-time, and that's where he became a legend. This was Vern Gagne territory. Also, Nick Bockwinkel was the champion for the majority of Heenan's run there. And would also run into somebody named Hulk Hogan. Now, before Hulk Hogan became a household name, I mean, he started his career as a heel. A lot of you guys know that. But then he was paired up against Nick Bockwinkel so many times in the late 70s, early 80s as a face, as the face Hulk Hogan. And alongside this entire thing was Bobby the Brain Heenan. By 1984, he was lured by Vince McMahon to manage Jesse the Body Ventura. He also managed Big John Studd, Andre the Giant. The Heenan family was formed in the WWF at the time. Ken Patera, Buddy Rose, Paul Orndorff, King Kong Bundy, even the Brainbusters, who you guys know as Arn and Tully. Of course, Rick Rude, Harley Race, the Islanders, Hercules, the Barbarian, the legendary run with Mr. Perfect, with his managing skills that spoke for themselves. We're going to get into that a little bit more. Fantastic color commentator during his run at the WWF. Either if he was alongside Vince McMahon or Gorilla Monsoon, he added his comic ability, his ability to put any of the heels over, and truly was a voice of a generation during this period. In 1994, he appeared on WCW. He was brought in and became one of the voices of the Attitude Era, especially when Nitro premiered in September of 1995. Had a great run in WCW up until 2000. And of course, as we mentioned from the top of the show, in 2004 was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame at WrestleMania 20. Bobby Heenan was the greatest manager of all time. There are a lot of people out there that would probably agree with me. And there have been a lot of great managers and a lot of great managers that don't really get the recognition that they should. But Bobby Heenan had it all in this world of entertainment where you're an entertainer, but you also have to be smart about the business. Anybody who was his client, he put them over. He made them feel. He made the crowd feel truly like whoever he was representing had a legitimate chance of winning, regardless of who it was. His comic timing, second to none. No one before, during, or since has his time of timing. Anybody. No matter who he was paired with, either in the WWF at the time or even WCW, he made the play-by-play guy just step up to another level. His color commentating is probably second to none. And that's a rare feat. For me, a guy who was wickedly funny, a guy who was excellent at his job. When he needed to be serious, he was serious. When he needed to be funny, he was just funny. Bobby the Brain Heenan, the greatest manager of all time, quite possibly the greatest color commentator of all time, passed away. He was an icon. He definitely would be missed. And one way we could judge this, we can honestly say there will never be another Bobby the Brain Heenan ever again. So Brain, you weasel, rest in peace. One last thing I want to say about Bobby the Brain Heenan, for a lot of you guys who are younger fans out there, this is the reason why you should have the WWE Network. Go back, listen to some of his promo work, his commentating. His skills, you could match them with anybody today. And in most cases, he would outshine anybody on this roster right now. He is that good. And definitely a much-deserved Hall of Famer. Let's look at SmackDown for later on tonight. All eyes will be on Kevin Owens. What's next? Repercussions for his attack on Vince McMahon. Actually, Vince got a little color. You got to remember that. I'm assuming we'll see Shane O'Mac. I'm sure Daniel Bryan will be part of something. And, of course, we'll get a lot of Kevin Owens, who really is probably pound for pound the very best, I would say, in both brands right now. AJ's just not the same as a face. I understand it, don't get me wrong. But you're talking about polarizing must-see figures. You got Braun Strowman. You got Kevin Owens. Those are two guys that we kind of get up off the couch, sit on the edge a little bit to watch. So I'm very excited for SmackDown and pretty much how Hell in a Cell is going to start shaping up. So I'm excited for that. Hopefully we'll see Nakamura this time. We'll see little Jinder Mahal. Obviously we'll see AJ and the whole Baron Corbin situation. We'll see some notable people who are kind of missing show up. I assume Randy's going to be taking some time off. I could be completely wrong. I want to see how Rusev is going to be involved in the show as well. And do we see the Fashion Files, my friends? Do we see the Fashion Files finally come back to SmackDown? Curious what's going to go on with the New Day and Uso rivalry. I love that rivalry. I love when they're inside the ring and they're going off at each other on promos. More importantly, they put out some of the best matches this entire summer leading up to this point. So that should be interesting to say the least. Well, that's all the show we have for this time. I appreciate everybody listening to the program. We still have some of our Twitter poll questions that are out there. I would love for you guys to actually maybe, think about answering some of these questions. Not the worst thing in the world. We're going to join you guys hopefully tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. We'll have the return of the Code Break with Brent Coder. Excited to talk to him about a lot of stuff coming up. It's going to be kind of the go-ho show for the week. We're going to recap SmackDown, talk a little Raw, talk a lot of No Mercy, and talk about the future in the WWE. I want to thank everybody who listened today. I want to thank everybody who's going to listen, hopefully very soon, on demand in our podcast form. The show will be available on iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, everywhere. For more information, go to thewrestlingmorningshow.com. Of course, you can always stream live from Twitter and Facebook and the website, or the easiest way, especially if you drive around or you're on the go, download the app in iTunes and Google Play. All right, Broadcast Row, thank you so much for providing this show. Thank everybody who helps us out behind the scenes, Mr. Brent Coder. Thank you to our sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen around the world listening, thank you so much, and be good.
The Wrestling Morning Show with Mardel, live on Broadcast Row.